When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let us go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about." So they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby who was lying in the manger. When they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what had been told them about this child. And all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds said to them. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things they had heard and seen, which were just as they had been told. So now we hear the story of the shepherds, the angels, Mary, Joseph, and the baby. And we have this running in our minds, and now we're going to see a play based on it. So I want to invite Mary up, the director of the play tonight, the director of the Christmas program, to tell us a little bit more.
Hello. Again, thank you all for being here. And I wanted to let everyone know that we had a major shakeup. You might have seen it in your program. Our main character came down with a cough and can't sing. So I had to step into the role, but I promise I did not write this play as a vehicle for my own stardom. I'm just the one who happens to know the songs best because I wrote them. So we had me step into her role, we had Ray step into my role, and we had her step into Ray's role because it's only one line and you don't have to sing. So we managed to make it work, but please be patient with anybody who's tripping up a little bit on there, but we're doing our best. I think it's going to come out pretty good. And as I always try to get some historical facts into these plays, there's some real stuff about how shepherds in first century Palestine would have handled their sheep. So any details that get mentioned in there, that is based on actual research. Most of the other stuff is completely made up. Of course, other than the Bible part. So yeah, I wanted to give a huge thank you to everyone involved in this for their flexibility last minute, for their skill. We could not pull this off with the level of speed and flexibility that we do if we did not have a bunch of really enthusiastic, really musically talented people to participate. Thank you so much to Jen, Bam, for working with my songs and helping actually make them have a musical accompaniment. That is a very, very difficult thing to do on short notice, especially when someone who shall not be named, me, does not give you the sheet music until right before you need to have written accompaniment. And thank you so much to my dad, who is getting all the lights and filming this whole thing so anyone who isn't here can see it later and so that I can see how it went. And thank you so much to John and to Toru for making sure that we all have mics. It's a lot of people to get mic'd and a lot of sound to coordinate for all these songs. Thank you so much to Patty Scrotenbohr for making all our wonderful costumes. In the past, been really scrambling, me trying to figure out how to make stuff out of sheets, and it just looks terrible. So this time we had everything done like a month early, and they look amazing. So thank you so much. It means so much to me. And thank you so much to my wonderful cast, who you will see shortly, for rolling with it and being such good sports and learning your lines and learning the songs. So yeah, can't wait to get started, and here goes something.
Why, good morning, Mr. Dyer. Another beautiful day in our lovely little village.
Good morning, Mrs. Weaver. And yes, looks like it's going to be a lovely day.
How's your wife? Does she have my wool?
She's fantastic as always. I think our daughter's coming with it now. Here she is.
Hello, Mrs. Weaver. Here's our latest batch.
Thank you. Lovely, lovely. Honey, go bring this to your father.
Dad!
Now, what have we said about yelling?
Sorry. But here.
Ah, excellent. More green. Just what I needed. Thank you, Mr. Dyer.
Thank my wife. She does the finishing touches that makes everything perfect.
Perfect.
Excellent. Everything working together as it should. No snags, no hiccups.
A bunch of Herod's men beat up someone in Bethlehem. They broke his legs.
Young Master Shearer, we'll have none of that disruptive talk here.
But it happened.
Not here, it didn't. Nothing ever happens in this town, here where sheep are grazing. We're born, we grow up, then we settle down. Isn't it amazing? It's a sign of God's grace, everyone has their place, as their ancestors did before them. To house, clothe, and feed, we have all that we need. Outsiders, we just ignore them.
Has anyone seen where my brother went?
Oh yeah, we saw him and heard him.
What do you mean?
Young lady, your brother came through telling the nastiest stories about the town over the hills. No one needs to hear about their problems here.
You mean Bethlehem? But they're so close by. Isn't it good to know what happens there? In case it happens here too?
It's important to know how much they'll pay for wool.
And how much they'll charge for linen.
But we don't need fantastical stories on top of that. Just useful, practical information that helps our village and honors our God. That's all we need.
And all we want. Why would anyone want any more than a simple life here? Meet what the future has in store. Don't give in to worry and fear. We live simple and clean, and we have our routine, and we don't want to jeopardize that. Outside there is danger, there's no need for change here. It's high time you realize that.
Remember, nothing ever happens in this town. Isn't it amazing?
Yes, ma'am, I understand.
Good, good. Well, we must be off. Lots to do. Come along, dear.
Well, the girls haven't seen each other in a few days. What with the sheep grazing so far afield, why don't we give them some time to catch up?
Oh, of course. Have fun, you three.
Oh.
So, you've been out with the sheep again. Sleeping on the ground, outside. Sounds dirty.
Well, I mean, I have this really thick blanket. It's like a shawl, and so you put that on the ground, and it's pretty mild out at night, so it's actually fine.
Who's gonna want to marry you if you're all dirty all the time?
I'm not dirty. I just said.
Well, I certainly wouldn't want to marry a shepherd. Did you know that in the winter they have to bring their sheep in the house with them? Ew, gross. But somebody has to marry her. Yeah, I guess.
Why are we even talking about marriage?
My mom taught me everybody has to settle down and raise a family. Didn't your mom teach you that? Oh, wait, you don't have a mom to teach you, do you? Yeah, just a dad and a weirdo little brother. Such a weirdo.
Why is he a weirdo?
He ran in yelling about some fight with Herod's soldiers. Where did he get that story anyway? Are you letting him talk to bad influences? Or did he make it up for attention?
He probably heard it from one of the Bethlehem shepherds. Sometimes when we're out in the field, we run into shepherds from other towns and we talk to them. Dad said it was okay.
Maybe it's okay if you know know how to be normal about it.
But it's not, okay? If you come back and mess up the whole village.
Yeah, we all have our parts to keep the village nice. My father mixes dyes up to make our colors stronger. My mother sets them deeply so they stay bright for longer. I clean the wool beforehand, then afterwards I dry it. Then take the finished product to anyone who'll buy it. We're friends with all our neighbors, the whole community. We fit into the village perfectly. But you, what's your deal? Why do you mix with those outsiders? Gosh, what's your deal? Why don't you stick to what you know? Gosh, what's your deal? Why aren't you scared of bugs and spiders? Gosh, what's your deal? Why do the holes in your clothes still show? My father strings the looms up with threads from top to bottom. My mother weaves them sideways and pulls them tight to knot 'em. I keep the thread on neatly in perfect rainbow order. And at the tassel border, the villagers adore us. They showered us with love. We fit into the village like a glove. But you, what's your deal? Why don't you control your little brother? Gosh, what's your deal? Why don't you smother his awkward noise? Gosh, what's your deal? Why do you act like you're somehow other? Gosh, what's your deal? You don't even flirt with the village boys. You ought to be more normal. You ought to be less odd. Or else how will you know for sure you're honoring our God?
Anyway, think about that, huh?
We're your friends, you know. We want what's best for you.
Thanks. God, what's your deal? Why was I left without a mother? God, what's your deal? What do you want from a girl like me? God, what's your deal? Why was I with a weirdo brother? God, what's your deal? I just want to fit in normally. Please show me who I'm really supposed to be.
Ah, you're back.
Hey, Dad.
How are the sheep?
Wooly. Listen, Dad, I'm worried about my little brother.
Oh, what happened? Did he try to catch a poisonous snake in a jar again?
No, he had some story about Herod's soldiers beating up some guy in Bethlehem and breaking his legs. The villagers were upset about it.
Well, I should think so. That's awful. Both his legs?
They weren't upset about what Herod's soldiers did. They were upset that they were forced to hear about it.
I see. Well, you know, the villagers can be a bit touchy. We've just got to keep our heads down, not make waves, help keep things running smoothly. Your brother will learn that soon enough, just like you did.
Are you sure?
Sure, I'm sure.
I mean, I try to keep my head down, but I don't feel like I fit in. And if I don't fit in, then how is he gonna fit in?
Well, you know, when I was your age... No, never mind. You know what? You don't want to hear your old man ramble. Go find your brother and meet me back here at the house so you can say hi to the lambs, and I can tell you kids where to take the flock next.
Or go into the hills west of Bethlehem next, right?
That's my girl. Now get going.
Well, here we are, hills west of Bethlehem. Are the sheep settling in okay? It'll be dark soon.
Yep, think they're already half asleep.
Okay, Let's find some soft grass to lay down on.
Hey you! Wake up! You're not gonna want to miss this.
What?
Don't be afraid. Yeah, don't be afraid. We've got a super important announcement. So you have to listen up. The Son of God has come down to earth. As a baby, a real human baby. You can go see. Not yet. We have more stuff to say. See this baby. His name is Jesus. He's gonna save the whole world from the depths of their sin.
Yep, says so right here. He will make all things new.
And it also says that you have to tell everybody.
Do you? Yeah, because everybody is trapped in their sin. They all need to know there's a way out.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay, good. It's really important.
Now you can go to the inn at Bethlehem and see the baby for yourself.
No, not yet. We still have to sing.
The Son of God is born.
This is your final warning.
The Son of God is born.
As of 2 o'clock this morning.
Good riddance to the status quo.
Hallelujah.
Now everything will change.
The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. The proud shall be humble. Isn't it strange?
Everything will rearrange.
Everything will rearrange.
Everything will change.
Hallelujah. Everything will change.
Okay, now I can go.
No, wait! I'm not actually going to have the sheep! Ah!
I can't believe it.
The audacity!
Mr. Shearer, it seems your son has developed quite the habit of telling tall tales.
He said we were sinners.
Even us, the pillars of this community.
Who'd be crazy enough to put a baby in a feed trough for animals?
Yeah, gross. No way that is real.
I just don't understand why he would say such horrible things about our lovely village.
There, dear, just a silly little child playing silly little games.
Well, now, when I was a youth, I sure played some silly little games, but I never had the cheek to call together the entire village and claim that I had a message from God.
That's blasphemy.
This can't go on. Do you hear? We won't stand for attempts to undermine our way of life, even from children.
Slandering our ancestors, our traditions. It's unacceptable.
Yes, I'll talk to him. This has been a complete shock to me, you know.
Yes. Well, children can surprise you.
You were there, weren't you? Why didn't you back me up?
I'm sorry.
I'll go talk to him.
Even if I had said something, they wouldn't have believed me. It just would have made everything worse. Right? 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 God, I have been told my whole life that we were upholding tradition because that was what you wanted. And they say, if we don't drop this, that we'll be tearing all of that down. And that can't be what you want, right? But the angel said, everybody had to hear, and everybody was trapped in their sin. Maybe even our village and our way of life. They said, the Son of God will make all things new. I guess that's my answer. I have to try. Hey everybody. I know that you might not like what I'm about to say, but I've decided I have to say it anyway. Not being heard is no reason for silence. Just because they won't listen doesn't mean you shouldn't speak. Not being heard is no reason for silence. Say the words in your heart, though your voice may be weak. Everything my little brother said about the angels and the baby in the manger, it was all true. I was there and I saw it. Shaking with fear is no time for inaction. You might not know the outcome, but you can't sit and quaver. Shaking with fear is no time for inaction. When the fear strikes you numb, and dig deeper, be braver. Dad, you know me. You know I wouldn't lie. You know I wouldn't be speaking up about this unless it was really important.
I do know that. And I guess that means I believe you. I believe both of you. Standing alone is no cause for surrender. Holding the line on your own is no shame. Standing alone is no cause for surrender. Others will follow and fight in your name.
Mom? You believe them?
What?
I'm not sure if I believe them, but they seem to really care about this, so I'm willing to listen.
If you listen, you can learn. If you can learn, you can grow. When you grow, you can believe. When you believe, then you'll know. Change may be scary, but God is our shepherd. He guides our footsteps, whatever we do. We all are His people. We can all learn together. We can make room for the old and the new. If God is on earth now, everything will have to change. It's true. Sing hallelujah, hallelujah. Transition to carols. Are we supposed to eat food and then carol?
Yes.
Food
Food first.
Food first.